Today, on Be Something Wonderful, taking inspired action and acting as if. What it really means. I am your host, Tom Kieran, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I got an email from a subscriber that said, Tom, I'm in a job that I really don't like. And for months now, I've been imagining myself in a new opportunity, a new position that I really love, and that I go in every day with joy and feeling good about it. But it's hard for me to maintain that state when I have to go into something that I don't like doing every day. I don't really feel highly motivated, although I get a bonus every once in a while, so I'm able to stick it out. And I'm trying to have patience and persist, and I feel like I can tolerate it, but nothing's changing in 3D. I'm not getting any opportunities. I don't know whether I should quit and then keep imagining my wish fulfilled. I just don't know what to do. My parents think I'm lazy and undisciplined, and I just need some guidance. Well, guys, wow, we're going to unpack this today and more. So here's what I want to say, that any action that you take from this state that you're in, this state of, it's really a state of fear, right? It's a state of frustration. It's a state of aggravation, is only going to result in you having to take more actions to fix that. So you want to wait till you're aligned with that greater you, that higher you, right? Getting in alignment with who you really are before you take drastic actions, right? So let's unpack this a little bit. So motivation, patience, and tolerance, none of that's needed when you're following your joy, when you're following your bliss. That's what they mean, but that's what all the great spiritual teachers mean about following your bliss. What does that mean, really? It's following your impulses and the feelings of your higher self. If it doesn't feel good, then that's your higher being saying that something's off, right? That you're believing or doing something that is not representative of what your higher being thinks of you or feels of you, right? This is what we've always talked about, right? So it's not really about being lazy or undisciplined. If you were following your bliss, if you were in something that you loved, then it wouldn't be, it's not ever a matter really of being lazy. No one's lazy. No one's undisciplined. Not when they're following their joy, not when they're following their bliss. Right? That's when they're in the flow. They love doing it. When you love what you're doing, lazy and undisciplined doesn't make any sense. Those are just bogus labels. They're limiting beliefs, right? Don't start believing them. When you do what you love and love what you do, you don't need motivation, right? Motivation is something on the outside pushing you to do something. It could either be that bonus that you were talking about, or it could be you trying to force yourself, to motivate yourself to do it. Right? And you don't need patience and you don't need tolerance. Not when you're aligned, right? And we're going to get at this a little bit more. How you feel indicates what beliefs and thoughts you have about the world around you and yourself. It's the version of yourself or the identity that you are occupying. Hear this. So if you're feeling this frustration, you're feeling this fear, this is telling you that something's off. You're occupying a version of yourself through a fearful version, right? And nothing can change. That's why the imaginal act, it seems to almost be working against you, is what you said in the email, right? Well, that's what it means. It means you're more focused on the absence of that opportunity or the lack of that opportunity. Hear this, and your attention's pointed to the unwanted, right? So what you feel influences where you put your attention. Hear this, right? And where you put your attention influences how and what you feel. They're both interchangeable. Right? So if you change how you feel, if you change your beliefs, then your attention will start pointing at your desire. Or if you start pointing your attention to your desire, that will change how you feel and believe about it. Hear this. So let's unpack this a little bit more. So I want a better job. And you're saying, I will tolerate it for now and be patient. Right? The bonus is motivating me to stick it out. So here's what you're saying. You're saying, I'm willing to put up with it. Right? You're willing to put up with that belief, right? That it's better than nothing. So you have a belief that it's better than nothing. You have a belief that you can tolerate it, right? And that belief is holding you back. Hear this for a second, right? Or that you have that there's a new opportunity. Maybe there's a new opportunity that you're imagining, that you're imagining your wish is fulfilled, but you're not ready to experience it yet. Your desire doesn't match your belief. You don't believe it. You don't believe in the imagined life because you're still stuck on tolerating this and feel that you've got to tolerate this. They're incompatible. Your desires got to match your belief. We've talked about the reality gap, right? Or the belief gap, right? The fear, you are believing something that's not true of who you really are. And what you fear, when you fear something, it's already happened in your imagination. So because you're already suffering from it right now, when you fear something, you're suffering from that fear. That means you've already created it in your imagination, right? That's why our greatest fears get realized many times, right? Because we've already created it. We're already suffering from it. And then we suffer twice, right? We suffer when it actually manifests, and we suffer while we're imagining it. Can you see the insanity here, right? Fear is just imagined. It's bogus. It's not who you are. So let's hit this a little bit more. So you might look at this as two choices. Let's just unpack this a little bit. When you're doing something that does not feel good, like this job you're saying doesn't feel good, like working at that job that you don't like, you have two choices. You can either change the job, quit. Again, that's really being influenced by, that's doing something with an 3D influence, right? You're taking action in 3D. You're not aligned. Not right now. And if you change that job while you're not aligned, you're just going to attract other experiences, other what you would judge negative experience or unwanted experience. Or, and this is the better option probably, you can change your belief about it. You can change your inner world first. Right? Once you change your inner world, then changing the job will just be a natural. You'll be moved to change the job, right? That higher you will move you towards that. Right? Once you change your beliefs within. In fact, it's always better to change your inner world first before taking action, right? Because why? If you take action now, those are reactions based on fear, like quitting your job suddenly without getting aligned or synced with your higher self. That often results, hear this, in a chain of unaligned events, or what you would judge negative events, negative actions. Now you're going to take actions to try to fix that action you took when you quit your job. Right? Other actions will follow, all unaligned by trying to fix the previous action. Do you see what's happening here, right? All to compensate for that state of not feeling good, not getting lined up with that higher you, right? All those actions, right? So all that's to make up for unaligned actions, right? All that unaligned thinking and reacting. But inspired action feels good, it's effortless. So I want to talk about types of actions here. So remember, most in the 3D world, right, our thinking, right, has always been action creates reality. But we know now that that's not true, that belief creates reality, not action. Our intention plus our attention based on beliefs creates reality. Our inner world creates reality. It's not action. Action is something that happens as a result of lining up with your beliefs, as a result of setting your attention and your attention. Right? That action is just natural, and you get moved, right? That's what we're talking about. Action, though, action in the way we're talking about, this 3D action, that's from the 3D world perspective, right? Remember, it's not the action, and we believe the process that creates reality, right? But it's not the process, it's not the action. Those don't create reality. It's your choice, right? You choose. Your choice to be and believe in that higher version of yourself. That's what creates reality, right? It looks like the action's creating it. It looks like the process is creating it, but it's really your choice to be and belief in that higher version of yourself that creates reality. That's back of everything, right? That's big, right? So, and you might say, well, fear is a motivator, but fear motivates you to react, to take actions based on being by pressure or stress or being afraid, right? Action based on fear of the unwanted. That's what the action is. You take action because if you quit your job because you fear that you don't like it and that you won't get a better job, right? That's based on fear. You're trying to solve a problem through action. You're trying to fix what is broken through action. That just creates the requirement to take more unaligned actions to fix that first action. It's a chain of unwanted events and unwanted negative actions. Hear this, right? So that's the first type of action, right? That's what you were considering, right? That's where you are right now, an action based on fear. But there are two other options in terms of actions. So let's talk about those. The other action you could take, so again, this is the action we talked about based on fear. You take action trying to make up or fix an unwanted reality or an unwanted situation, right? An unwanted 3D situation. This just creates more unwanted events, right? Not aligning with your higher self. Or you could take inspired action. Let's talk about this. And one of you on the channel asked me about this, I think, today as well. Inspired action feels good. You set an intention of what you desire and you move towards it. Hear this. And it's not, it's effortless movement. You're not even thinking about it. You're moving towards it. Opportunities open up. Things start falling on your lap because you're aligned with that higher you, right? You're acting out of excitement, joy, and positive expectation. That's inspired action, not out of fear, out of positive expectation. You know you're moving towards it. You're excited. There's enthusiasm, there's excitement. It feels good, right? Your actions feel effortless because they are, because you're being moved by that dimensionally larger you. You are in the zone. That's what they call the zone, right? There's no pressure. There's no fear. It comes from within. That's what inspired action does, right? And so then there's even an action that's even higher and better and wiser, and that's the acting as if you already have your desire or you already are that higher version of yourself. This is the third option. Second option is pretty good, right? That inspired action, in fact, that there will get you to where you want, right? But you can even go beyond that, a step further, and act as if you already have your desire. Step in and occupy that version of yourself that's already in the dream job. We've talked about this in other ways over the last few days, right? You are already that higher version of yourself. You're living in the end or your wish fulfilled, but you're acting as that. You're doing things that you would normally do had you had that job, right? You are not taking action toward your desires now. Right, like with inspired, like in the inspired action, right? You take inspired actions, right? You're being moved by that dimensionally larger you. Rather, in this third type of action, you are being your desire. Hear this, you're being it, acting as your desired reality. You're acting as it. You are it, right? This is where real magic happens. If you thought inspired action was great, this is even bigger. Right? And you might even go between the two, right? You're behaving and being like you would if you were already in your desired reality. Hear this. You're behaving and being like you would if you were already in your desired reality, right? There's no expectation anymore because you are being it, right? You've moved beyond, even beyond inspired action, right? Be it now, right? No processes, and there's no manifesting required because you are it, right? This is what we've talked about before. This is big. So, action based on fear, right? Action based on fear. This is what you've been doing, right? Complaining, I don't like my job, or I hate my job. I'm not appreciated, right? Or I'm becoming less motivated. You start doing the minimum. You start feeling lazy, even though you're not, right? And then you finally quit out of fear or desperation. That's an example of action based on fear. That's the first example of the type of action, right? The second one, action based on inspiration. Here you appreciate your job as a stepping stone to bigger and greater things. Hear this. And then you might be helping the manager and the coworker be more successful, right? You're changing your belief about who you are and what you want, right? You're changing your belief about that job. You're no longer looking at it as a block or an obstacle. You're looking at it as a stepping stone. This is big. You're setting your intention for something more and moving in that direction while at the same time loving this job because you know it's a stepping stone. You're excited. You're living in expectation. You're inspired, right? And then there's, of course, the third action that we just talked about, acting as if. Here, you're in your dream or desired job. You're being that version of yourself. You might even behaving it at night or on weekends in another job, maybe already working towards your dream job, or doing things that would imply that you already have it. This is big. This is what we're talking about. This is really what it means to take inspired action and act as if. That's what it really means. I am your host, Tom Caron, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of Higher Consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Caron, our website at tomcaron.com or BeSomethingWonderful.com, or write me anytime at info@BeSomethingWonderful.com. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, creators, with great love, see you soon.